Stitchin Heaven, Quitman, Texas. But today I am hanging out with my dear friends out in Spencer, Indiana, and you can probably hear the noise. So I want to show you what's going on in the room here. And they're all shushing, but they don't need to really worry about it because you can't expect 50-some quilters at a retreat. Hello, quilters. Wave everybody real quick. There they are. So we are in Spencer, Indiana at the McCormick Creek State Park. We have the Canyon Inn. I think I got most of it correctly. We're hanging out with my dear friend Lisa and John Stantz from the Unraveled Quilt Shop here in Spencer, Indiana, and they are putting on a wonderful annual retreat that they do. And I got to come out and do a class, a workshop yesterday, and now I am literally on retreat mode. I might fire up the sewing machine. They've moved me over here into the corner. They've unplugged my power. I mean, they basically are not going to allow me to do much of my own quilting. They want me to work on other things. Some of the students this morning requested additional workshop time, and because they were doing such a great job, I said yes, and then sent them to the quilt shop to get more supplies. So we've had a great time, and mostly I want to make sure I don't let all of you scrap masters down. So we have a celebrity spinner and roller for us today, folks. That's right, we have a guest spinner that will come on at the end of the show and spin and roll for our scrap masters. Everybody I shared that with yesterday had a blast. I'm watching the comments to make sure that, okay, great. I see everybody commenting. Fantastic. Like I said, I know that the audio might be a little dicey. I'm actually over in the corner of the room to try to make it work as well as possible. But I do want to give you our announcements for the week, let you know what's been going on. I want to say hello to all 72,000 plus subscribers out there. If you haven't yet subscribed, and that's most of the ladies here in the room, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like the videos, make sure you share them with your friends. Of course, that's what helps us grow our brand and have a great time with all the other quilt makers out there. And like I said, I met roughly 50 new friends just in the last couple of days, and we are having an absolute blast. We also have the Sew Well Rob Appell Facebook page. This is also where we're doing a lot with our different scrap masters. This is where the pattern pages are. This is where we're promoting, putting up our photographs and everything. So feel free to join that. But however, folks, because we've had such a push of new membership on the Facebook page, you must answer the questions, at least how you know me, and agree to the rules, or I won't let you in. So I've had to decline several requests to be part of the Facebook group only because they didn't answer the questions, and I want to make sure we're not letting anybody in that might spam us down the road. So anyways, if you got declined, I'm sorry, just reapply, but make sure you answer the questions. And speaking of really cool things I want to make sure you don't miss out on, folks, we're doing a special offer right now. We've got a quilting cruise coming up this year, the Stitchin' at Sea Quilting Cruise. My friend Tiffany Hayes is sailing with my dear friend Heidi Pridemore. Both ladies are incredible instructors, and we're offering a $500 Stitchin Heaven shopping spree when you register for this one. This is a really cool cruise, and here's the itinerary. It's just a little bit different. It doesn't quite have as many sea days, I believe. And so this is one of the ones that folks might have missed over on our itinerary. So we just want to offer you all a special incentive to make sure you sign up and don't miss. Here's the situation, folks. If you let Tiffany go with just Heidi, they're going to eat all of the lobster and escargot without you. So that's the whole situation. I don't want you to miss out. Now, in your emails this week, maybe even in the last few minutes, you should have received your patterns. Those of you who have emailed and signed up for the Glowing Checkered Star, the virtual sew along on April 19th. So that's going to be a live sew along right here, YouTube live. And then if you do purchase, or if you did purchase a kit, you might win one of the 5 golden tickets. The golden tickets are actually a free registration for our August retreat. And folks, I only have maybe 2 or 3 seats left for August retreat. It's, I believe, like the 7th through the 10th, somewhere around that window of this year. And of course, you don't have to buy a kit to come, but if you buy a kit, you might have got a chance. And like I said, most of the kits are prepared and ready to go out, and those golden tickets have been prepared, and we have just a few of the registration still to fulfill. So we're really excited about that. It's going to be a blast. And as I'm going through, I also want to let you know here, June 8th through 13th, Shipshewana. I'll be right back in the neighborhood here, folks, and I will be hanging out over in Amish country with the Quilting Marine and the Combat Quilter at one of our awesome sewcations. So if you're not interested or not near Shipshewana, we do have others like in Lancaster, in San Diego, in Minneapolis. So we have a lot of wonderful events coming up like this. Now, this one's not actually sponsored by Stitchin Heaven. Like I said, this is being put on by Unraveled, and you know I have got a bunch of wonderful quilting friends all around the world and United States that I like to visit and support. But this is very much like you would experience at a destination showcation that we put on in one of the hotels. This happens to be in a state park, and in California we don't have this. I don't know about Texas, but in Indiana there are many state parks that have these lodges and inns where folks can come and stay, and there's some family style setup, but there's also some private style setup. They have these wonderful conference rooms, and many of these groups have brought their quilting or their other styles of groups here over the years. Lisa and her family have worked part of the camp and part of the state park here, so it's just really cool to be at this facility. It's beautiful. I will put up a little bit more of a follow-up video next week for you all. It was really tornado and gnarly rains the last couple of days, tornado warning. So we haven't been out for much footage, but I'll try to get you some beautiful weather shots from outside. Now, speaking of other retreats coming up, the Big Hooter retreat coming up in Texas from Legit Kits. As a reminder, you don't have to do the owl. You can bring any of them that you're interested in, April 3rd through 6th. And we also have April 3rd through 6th. I might be a little out of date on that one. Sorry, folks. I think that one may have just started. April 27th through May 2nd, though, is the Jungle Magnolia Quilt Works. That's a Judy Niemeyer project being taught by Tina and Michael, and it's going to be a fantastic project. And now that I've got you all paying attention while I'm bragging, look at this. I now have the new youngest quilter yesterday in class ever. That is Maisie, the little one there, and she is 2 months old, and she came to the whole quilting retreat. And my friends are concerned that she's more of a precision patchworker than a carefree quilter based on the look on her face and my shirt. But nonetheless, we had a great time, and I was so excited. It was 3 generations at that table there enjoying quilting together. And I thought, you know, this is the perfect time to bring a baby to quilt class. She really did mostly eat and nap all day, and Mom got to do a bunch of wonderful sewing. I even remembered to lower my voice once or twice when I got towards that side of the room, and I might have woke her up once or twice as well, because you know how loud I can be. Thank you all for the comments below. This is fantastic about Ruby's graduation and everything. Wonderful. So I'm going to dive into my grateful list real quick so that we can move on through the show. And yes, we had a wonderful week, but it really started an early week on the weekend with the remodel. So here's a little video I put together for you last week. Beautiful day. I'm exhausted. A couple days into the remodel. Literally only just a couple days. Putting the tools back. This is it. I'm filthy. Thought you'd like to see this. And this is a change of good clean clothes, but it's so wonderful because literally the kids just live right next door to our home. So even taking the tools back doesn't require putting anything in the trucks. So yeah, their little place is through here, the front entrance. Got everyone working again today. So this is the apartment next door. We just go across. You're going to be live right here, which is fun. That was their fort when they were kids. Now they're going to live there when they're married. There he is. Sweeping away. The King Carpenter. Primer's going up. Carpet's all gone. All right, day 2. We've got the flooring. We just went and picked up half a load of the mat for the flooring. Cruising here, painting away. This is about the second coat here of the color called mayonnaise drying on the wall. Boxes of floor stacked up. 3 boxes at once, Grandma. I don't know. That's an awful heavy load.
Oh yeah.
Muscles. All right, the guys went on the baseboarders run. Got this far though. All the floors down. Here's their little place. That closet will be converted to hold music equipment and supplies, so Braden can open that up. That staircase goes upstairs to Grandma and Papa's house. Bedroom in there. They want to keep the carpet, so we'll trim that out. So yeah, that was it. That was a big adventure we put on. And as I'm bragging about it, and if you didn't quite pick up in the video, yes, I get to live next door to my mother and father-in-law, and they have an apartment below their home. And we have many a generations have lived in that apartment. And so it was time for an upgrade. We got to go ahead and remodel it. And my job, other than camera operator, was mostly foreman. Now, I put in a bunch of sweat equity on the floor with my son, which was a great time. But my goal was really to teach him how to do these kinds of things so that as he moves on with his new wife and they do more of these houses and things, that they'll have the skill set. So it was really fun to be teaching, and then basically able to walk away after all the hard work's done. We still need to finish out the baseboards, and when I get home from this trip, the baseboards should be all painted and primed and ready to go, and I'll help them learn how to make those cuts and install the baseboards. And the rest of it, Catherine and Braden will do on their own, which is really fun. Catherine's incredibly handy with tools. She's into theater. She's a stage magician, we'll call her, and so it was awesome watching her work. And so that was really fantastic. But we were also rushing to get ready for the weekend following, where it was Ruby's graduation, which was also a phenomenal event. Some of you saw on the social media that I became the balloon king. She bought 2 bags of balloons on Amazon in this balloon arch, and we had the best time. I must have spent 3 hours blowing up those balloons with this mechanical inflator, and there's my beautiful daughter behind me there. And I think I might have had more fun with the balloon arch than anybody did. This was the day of, in the, of course, famous gold shirt. And then here is Ruby at cosmetology school. I made her ring the bell a second time. She thought I was being silly, but I'm just so proud of her. And that's her again with her diploma, her certificate, and myself and my beautiful wife and the whole family. So this was at the cosmetology school, and then she wanted to have a burger barbecue. So then I donned my smokers and barbecuers jacket and did dogs and burgers for everybody. And just the last little showing of kind of what it looked like. We had so much fun, and the way the lights and the everything, she wanted the pink and the gold and a lot of glam. And there was about 40 or 50 people through the afternoon that came over to celebrate and honor her. And it was just really exciting. And, it was, again, like I said, fun. I enjoyed putting together the balloon mobile there for the disco party, and once again, the balloon arch and everything. I was just so fun to see all of her friends in there and my family and everybody just socializing and having a great old time. So it was quite the party, and we felt very blessed to get together and do that. So yes, that was Ruby's party. Was definitely number 2 on the grateful list. And now number 3 on the grateful list is freestyle blocks. And that's not these. This is Scrap Masters, and we're going to get into that in a little bit. But what I was talking about really is kind of what we were doing yesterday. We got to take the whole class through a bunch of what I was calling a wonky log cabin. Here, I'm just going to grab a sample real quick. Jan, oh, I'll grab mine. I won't make you show off yours. Can I show your pillow? All right, here we go. So, because there was no finished size for class, I had to have one of my overachievers finish. So, of course, she did a single block pillow, which I thought was a genius concept, of course. So that's one of those. But these are what we were working on, just little fun, again, wonky log cabin blocks. But one of the things about doing this kind of stuff, folks, I found is it was really fun to teach 40 people on a workshop where there really was no finished size of the quilt. There was no specific supply list. There was no determined where we were heading. We were just learning to make wonky blocks because I believe in living in the present as much as possible. And I think when you're freestyle sewing like this, you're really not chain piecing. You're really cutting each piece individually. And I think these really will help sew in the present. And I think we need to have these palette cleanser projects. So when you're not working on a big masterpiece project, it's nice to have a little block or two that you like goofing around with. So that's what yesterday's workshop was. But by the end of the day, I determined it was far easier to get a few A-type personalities to loosen it up than it was to deal with a whole room of folks that were frustrated because they weren't going to finish their quilt that day. And like I said, with no expectations, you can get all the way to the finish line very easily that way. So I thought that was a lot of fun as well, and we had a blast. So yeah, yesterday's freestyle quilting not only taught me about teaching quilting better, but it was really fun to watch folks that said in the middle of the day they don't think they've made any progress, and today they're saying they'll never do anything other than these blocks. So maybe give it a try, folks. There's the easiest log cabin video out there. If you haven't seen it already, I think you'll enjoy it. And now for Guardian Angels, before I dive into my Scrapmaster blocks here for the week, I do want to talk about my dear friend Lisa. She is one of those folks I consider to be one of my guardian angels. So I'm going to go grab her real quick and put her on the microphone. Lisa, are you ready? Okay, your turn. I'm going to embarrass you. Here, put that on your name tag, please, or something. Maybe up a little high. Yeah. And we're going to have you be our roller and our dicer in a minute. But real quick, see, I was doing my grateful list.
Oh, yes.
And this is number 4, which is actually you this week. Guardian Angels. So this is Lisa's stance if you haven't met Lisa. And Lisa's one of these people, and I thought it was only me, that we just met and we became immediately best friends. But I actually found out from all of the people in this room, it's happened to each and every one of them because her heart is just that way. So anyways, in my life, I've met many of folks that have just been there at the right time, at the right place for me. And Lisa has now done this multiple times, including inviting me for a little getaway. I don't know if she knew how wore out and tired I was going to be after all the cruising and traveling and teaching, but she's invited me to come, and I got to teach for a day, and now I get to just be a quilter for the next couple. So anyways, Lisa, thank you for having me. Oh, you want to say something?
His table is set up to quilt, but he hasn't done any yet.
I haven't done any quilting yet, and I'm terrible about that. Okay, so before we get to do our roll and spin, I'm going to show off. This was my block of the week. So here's the live action version. Okay, and then I'm going to show them the pictured version so they can see it a little bit better. Oh, everyone's saying hello.
Hello.
And Lori said hello earlier. I saw her in the comments. She wanted to make sure I said hello.
I wonder, is Carl?
Carl is probably on, and ACJ is definitely on. Who you haven't met, Nancy is here. Carl, if you're here, throw us a thumbs up. I'm not seeing you at the moment. He's at Stephanie's retreat.
Oh, right, they're at a retreat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here's a couple of the other wonky blocks up close. Sorting out the scraps. Before sorting out the scraps, see, I told you I really worked to get ready for this class.
He really did work to get ready.
Okay.
So of course, I had to talk him into it.
She did.
Not really.
Okay, Lisa, you do a live on Wednesday night at when?
7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern Standard Time. Okay. So you can always enjoy Lisa's lovely show, and you can often meet her daughter.
Yes. But the other thing is we don't teach you anything but how to laugh.
There you go. Yeah. That's very good.
We teach you how to laugh. Show you some new fabrics.
Yep.
Talk about
what's going on.
Talk about Rob.
Talk about me. Okay. Talk about me. All right. Well, I am ready. Right. So we're going to do, for all of you out there, that we're going to have our celebrity roller and spinner. We want to make sure that I'm making sure that everyone can see what's going on. I don't want anyone to accuse me of setting this up because they know my favorite color is green and they keep thinking I'm making it purple.
Okay, so if it lands on green, we're going to respin it.
Okay, well, no, that's not fair. That is not fair. Okay, so Lisa, you're going to roll the first die first to choose what block we're using this week.
Okay, ready? Drum roll.
Ooh, block number 6.
Block number 6.
Did I have them in the reverse order? No, it's just the one I don't have.
Oh, we don't have a block 6.
Oh, no, I do have the block 6. The block 6 is actually one of my favorites because it's kind of odd. I designed it myself, as a matter of fact.
He likes it because it's odd.
I like it because it's odd. Well, look at it.
I do like it.
Right?
Yeah, it's very pretty.
Asymmetrical. I thought I had half square triangles in both, but apparently the pattern calls for a square in one corner. So just remember rule 1, there are no rules, but this is our block for the week. Now you get to determine what color.
Okay, and do I just
spin it? Oh, I'm going to make sure the rotary cutter is safely closed, and don't flick it too hard. It's pretty solid. But give it some muscle.
Woo!
Violet.
I love that.
You like that. Okay, so we're working in the violet color range again. And now you're going to roll the 20-sided die to choose how many fabrics. Go big.
How many fabrics do we want?
Well, I want 15 to 20 because the more fabrics, the more scrappier the blocks look. And the more we can use up.
Get those violet scraps ready and use
16. Ooh, that's a great roll. I should have you come and do more rolls for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we're doing 16 fabrics in the violet colorway, block number 6 for Scrap Masters this week. And I want to say thank you again for bringing
thank you.
me out here. And I want to make sure you get to say hello to all your friends out there, because you do have a bunch that are watching.
I'm so glad that I'm going to see some of you in August.
That's right. Yeah. Lisa's coming out to the August retreat. I was just telling him it was kind of sold out, but that's okay. Lisa's not giving up her seat.
I'm not giving up my seat.
Neither's John.
Neither's John, but we'll think about you.
Okay, yeah, we'll think about y'all. Those of you, maybe you'll sign up sooner next time.
Yes, that's it. That's what you have to do.
That's right. Okay.
You see it posted, you get on there. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you very much. Okay, I better take that back so you can go back to sewing and not get in trouble for the things you're saying. The words you're saying. Okay, cuss words, cuss words. Awesome. All right, folks. And let me just check the comments real quick and make sure I haven't missed any questions for the week. I want to see if I can get this thing turned off so that it's not going crazy here. And all right. Yes, finally a new block, Mona. You are definitely correct. And I've been dying to do this block. This is, like I said, really a fun one. I'm sorry. I was hoping we'd get out of the violet colorway, but maybe we're just building a purple quilt the first time around. I'm not sure what we're doing. That's the fun of the Random Scrap Masters. Yes, Carlton, Ohio, but there's our good old Tiffany. Thank you. And, okay, let's go see if I've missed any questions. Oh, we got a new water heater out there. That's nice to see. Fantastic. I'll make sure Carl knows you all missed him if he's not watching today. And we've got New Zealand watching today. That's always pretty cool. Fantastic. All right, folks. Well, I don't see any pending questions. I'll give you a few more minutes to type them in. If you are having a pending question, I want to make sure I don't miss anything. But again, just wanted to say thank you this week for being here. Thank you for always supporting the quilting community out there. It is so fun to be part of it. I'm seeing so much enthusiasm. Please, if you really, let's talk about Scrap Masters for a few moments, giving you time to put in your questions. The pattern that I designed a couple weeks ago, this would be kind of how you could put a bunch of blocks together. Yes, this is a PDF that is a free download right on the Facebook page. All of the pattern blocks and the instructions are downloads that you follow the link in the descriptions on the videos. They were just set up differently, and I apologize. I'm not super techie, and so I'm trying to get them a little bit more organized. But at the moment, the pattern pages for the individual scrap blocks, which was what it really was, just a random scrap block generator, those are on Facebook and in the bottom of these videos. And the actual pattern we're calling the scrap lattice, that is available on our Facebook group. There's been a lot of questions on Facebook this week, and I've been traveling and didn't take the time to field many of them. Some of you did for us. Thank you very much for doing that as well. And question, can we go to, oh yeah, I want to go to New Zealand. That looks like it could be a best retreat ever. So yes, if you'd like to host us in New Zealand, we'll bring our jerseys. We'll come and have fun with all of you out there. So anyways, folks, thanks for joining us live. Please consider joining Stitchin Heaven on a quilting cruise, a quilting staycation, or a quilting retreat at Quitman, Texas, because we know you will love it. There's nothing better than getting together with a great bunch of quilters and spending a few days just laughing and sewing and eating and fellowshipping together. And that's one of the things we've always prided ourselves in, is creating a wonderful experience for you all. So anyways, thanks for being here today. Thanks for being a quilter, and we'll see you all real soon until Wednesday's video that comes out. Oh, and next Wednesday will be the recap of my quilting adventure at sea a few weeks ago. Tiffany put out her video this week, and that will talk to you about a lot of the things you would need to know if you're interested in quilting and cruising with us at Stitchin Heaven. So check those out on YouTube, and we will see